Hello guys, today we will be covering Sadathas and Manto's Open It, which was written during the period of partition of India and Pakistan in 1948. So this is a story of a man named Sirajuddin who is seeking for his daughter who is lost during the partition process. So yeah, let's start with the essay itself. So we all know that the partition time was nothing less than a war. So, where there is a war, there is rape and abuse of women. So, we have witnessed this theory right from Trojan War till the time of Middle East conflict. So, rape is always a tactic of war. So, this has to be understood because at the time of war, women are always abused, oppressed, and used. So, this is very important here because this is the main theme of this essay. So, let's start with the essay. So, this essay starts with the departure of the train from Amritsar to Mughalpura, which was departed at 2 p.m. and it was a journey of around 8 hours. So, Sirajuddin is seen to be covered all around with men, women, children, all in deep chaos. So they were all in deep chaos because they fled from their own country to rescue themselves and to rescue their families. So he was seen in a refugee camp on the cold floor of the refugee camp. So he is totally numb because of the all the exhaustion and all the chaos that is happening around him. So he has no ability to think or comprehend the militia. So the total numbness is causing him a deep difficulty in retrieving the current scenario. So his entire being seemed to be suspended in space. So yeah, so since he is all numb and all in darkness, so when he tries to open his eyes, the bright sunlight strike his eyes, and then the air, and then the sun rays seem to be penetrating in the in every fiber of his entire being. So yeah, so that shows that with the sunlight, he is awakened. He now tries to find his family. Since we know that his wife was killed in front of him, so that was a very depressing view. So let's move on. So with the sunlight penetrating into every fiber of his being, he starts getting flashbacks from earlier. So the sudden images of plunder, the fights, the fire, the stampede, the gunshots, the train station, and also the night, the earlier nights, and Sakina for sure. So now he is reminded that he has a daughter and now he cannot find her. So he now starts finding where Sakina is. So he scouted the whole camp for about 3 hours, searching for Sakina, calling out for Sakina, 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 where are you? So Sakina is his only daughter, which is a teenager, all innocent, naive, and helpless. So he's not the only one who has lost somebody. He is not the only one who is separated from his family. There are thousands of people apart from Sirajuddin that are searching, that are looking for their family or their loved ones. So there is ear splitting noise all over because all people are, because everyone is shouting so to find their people. So yeah, someone who's looking for his mother, someone who's looking for his wife, someone looking for his child, someone looking for his, everyone was looking for somebody. So that was a never ending chaos. So Sirajuddin plopped down off to one side of the road with great exhaustion, trying to strain his memory as to when Sakina would have been separated from him. But every trial of his remembrance of Sakina jammed his sight at the sight of his mutilated wife's body because she was cut into halves in front of them only. So he now cannot think beyond that. He is getting constant sights and constant flashbacks of his wife with her mutilated body and her guts pulled out. So he could not use his limbs. He could not move his limbs. He cannot think. He cannot comprehend. He cannot move. So he is all paralyzed. So his heart and mind all are shattered into tiny pieces. So he is now not in the position to think. He cannot search for Sakina in this position. So he is lying down. He is trying to calm himself, he's trying to compose himself. So later on, we see that uh, now he realized that his wife is dead, but he still might have a chance to find Sakina. So what he does is, he is reminded of the fact that when he was trying to save Sakina's mother, she called out that you run with Sakina and try to save her. You save her and run. So while they were running, after Sakina's mother was uh, killed by the rioters, so while they were running, Sakina's dupatta flew, and Sirajuddin was trying to catch that dupatta because being Muslim, being in a Muslim religion, the Muslim religion is very strict for this dupatta and the whole clothing accessory thing. So he was trying to catch the dupatta, he was trying to retrieve the dupatta for his daughter. But Sakina, understanding the current situation, she said that Abba, leave it. We'll go, leave it. But he did not leave the dupatta, which shows how he is dire to protect his daughter. Even in this circumstance, he will do anything to get the dupatta to her so that she remains safe, she remain out of the sight of bad people. So yeah, so still he retrieved it. So remembering this, he found. So yeah, while he was remembering this, he found that there was a plunged piece of clothing in his pocket. So when he took that out, it was Sakina's dupatta, and he was now again reminded of the fact that he has to find Sakina. So while this was happening, he was having constant thoughts whether she was in the camp with him, whether she boarded the train with him. While he passed out during running, did was it then that the rioters took her away from him? So all these thoughts were coming to his mind, that when would Sakina have been taken away from him? So all the thoughts exhausted his mind and his capability to recall anything or everything at all. So now, since it has been many days that he has not found his daughter, his tears have dried up. He has no tears left whatsoever. So what happens here is that he is feeling helpless, he's feeling hopeless, because there is no sign of Sakina, there is no one that he can ask to help. But 6 days later, when he was feeling a little better, he was feeling a little calmed down. He find few people, few volunteers who were helping to find the lost people. So there were 8 young men who agreed to help him. So these 8 young men had a lorry with them, in which they carried people, and rifles with them also. So yeah, they asked for Sakina's description. So how did he describe Sakina? He described Sakina as a very beautiful girl, exceedingly beautiful girl. His words were, "She is fair and exceedingly pretty, takes after her mother, not me. About 17, with big bold eyes and dark hair, has a beautiful big mole on her right cheek. She is my only daughter." So yeah, uh, while he is explaining this, while he's describing Sakina's appearance, he is showing that she is my only daughter, she is my last hope. She is my last hope. She is the only family that I have left. She is the only one that I have now, if she is alive. So yeah, volunteers assured him that what volunteers said was that if Sakina was alive, you would have met her by now. But still, Sirajuddin had a belief in his heart that Sakina is alive, Sakina is not dead. So he asked them to look for Sakina, and they agreed to do that. So volunteer put their lives on edge, and they moved to Amritsar. They traveled to Amritsar to find Sakina. So in this journey, they did save several other people, and they protected them. So 10 days passed out, but there was no sign of Sakina. So one day they found. So one day the volunteers were moving around, and they found a girl trudging around the road. So the sound of the truck, they were moving in. So the sound of the truck made her panic, and she started running off for her life. She thought that there are rioters, and she should run. So they caught her and found that she was exceedingly beautiful and had a big mole on her right cheek. So they asked, "Are you Sakina?" Because that was the appearance, that was the description of Sirajuddin for Sakina. So when they asked, "Are you Sakina?" she did not reply. She did not say anything. Why did not she say anything? Because she thought, because she was so because she was so scared, she could not speak. She thought that if I tell them my identity, God knows what would they do to me. So that was the thought of Sakina. So she did not tell that whether if she is Sakina or not. So by her appearance, they concluded that she is Sakina. So uh, the young men, huh? So the young men, the volunteers calmed her, they soothed her, they fed her with milk, and also they tried to comfort her. So while she was done with this, they tried to carry her into the lorry so that they could take her to her father. So one of them noticed that she is covering her chest with her bare hands, and she's trying to protect herself. So with the lack of dupatta, she is feeling a little uncomfortable. So, what one of them did was offer his jacket to her so that she feels protected and safe. But she repeatedly ignored the request and she did not accept the jacket. So, Sakina sees her bareness as a symbol of her weakness and her submissiveness. So she's repeated. What is she doing? She's repeatedly trying to cover herself as if her covering herself will protect her. So Sirajuddin did not get any news of his daughter till now. It has been quite a few days. So one day he found the volunteers roaming around and asked them if they have found Sakina. So to which they said, "Oh, we will." They did not tell him that they have found Sakina, and we don't know what they did to her. So Sirajuddin kept praying constantly for the well-being of her daughter, that she is alive and that they find her. So one day there was some chaos around the place where Sirajuddin was. So four men carried a girl which was appearing to be almost dead on a stretcher. So they took her to hospital, to the doctor, and handed her over to the doctor. So there was no one in the room in which the girl was lying. So Sirajuddin, out of curiosity, went to the room. The room was dark. There was no light in that room. So he went there. He was just looking around. So he saw the same stretcher and the same girl lying there. So he advanced his little steps. So when he approached that stretcher, what he found that she was Sakina, he saw the big mole. He saw that big mole, and thus he concluded that he cried, Sakina. So to which the doctor came. The doctor heard it and asked, "What is it?" To which he ecstatically said that she is my daughter. I'm a father. I'm a father. So yeah, he was so happy that he has now finally found a daughter, found his daughter. He was so happy that he has found his daughter. So since the room was all dark, the doctor lit one of the lights. Still the room was dark. After lighting the light, the room was still dark, and asked Sirajuddin to uh, stand there. And he the doctor tried to check the pulse of the girl, whether she is alive or how is she doing. So he found that the girl is alive. So he asked Sirajuddin, pointing to the window, open it. As soon as Sakina heard the word open it, she concluded that these words are said to her and someone has asked her to open it. She was so accustomed to hearing these words, open it, Khol do, that she would open her own trousers. So after hearing this particular word, open it, Sakina's body stirred so faintly at the stretcher that she, with her oh so dead arms, she untied the knot of her trouser and she lowered it. So this is a so disrobing of her garment is a symbol of remarkable submissiveness. So what we are trying to catch here is that Sakina was half conscious and barely alive. She was half conscious and barely alive. There was no sign of life in her whatsoever. So while she did that, the doctor broke into a cold sweat. He knew what has happened. Like how a girl can open her trousers after just listening these words. No one, she has not seen who has asked her to open it. So, but Sirajuddin, on the other hand, he was so reluctant, he was so naive, that he was ecstatically dancing that, oh, Sakina is alive, she's alive, she's alive. He was happy to get her daughter back alive in one piece. But the daughter knew, but the doctor knew what has happened with her. He knew that she has been raped repetitively, and that is why she is opening her trousers. So the author uses the disrobing of the garment to create a dramatic climax. So in this climax, we see that this act is an example of female submission. The word open it is not a question. The word open it is an order. It is not said in a humble voice. The doctor said, open it, hold do. So it was an order. And Sakina has received so many such orders before that now she is accustomed to it. She has now accepted it her fate. Now she has no power left to fight. She has now no she now has no authority over herself according to her. And author's initial presentation of Sakina as a terrified, petrified, hesitant young girl trying to cover herself with her bare hands, to now a girl who is submissive even to the words she does not know who has spoken. That is a very drastic and dramatic contrast with the behavior at the beginning. So, in the end, Manto presents an extremely powerful and climatic conclusion. So the youthful innocence and conservative, hesitant mannerism at initial are contrasted to a shocking submissiveness at the end. So the horror and abuse that she suffered stripped her of her honor, and now she is nothing more than a submissive robot who is now just fulfilling the demands of people. So now she is ready to strip on command. So now she is ready to strip on command. She cannot do anything, she cannot protect herself. So Manto over here has expressed his views on post-partition thing and during the partition thing, that women are treated as a commodity, that male and the oppressor. Here male are represented as the oppressors, and how the women are considered as a commodity which they can use, oppress or abuse anytime. So this is a fact that abuse and rape of women is a tactic of war. We know that by now. In every war we have witnessed this. In the Trojan War, women were raped, women were used, and now in the Middle East conflict time, we saw the same. So even in even in a small scale stampede, women suffer at first. Women suffer the most. So this should not be the case. So this is a very awakening and enlightening work by Manto, which mirrors down the truth of the society. So yeah, thank you for watching.